came across this article across my Facebook feed, as most millennials now get their news from, and it's just the most, I guess, hilariously frustrating article I read, and so for the people who are listening, I'm sure most people understand what the concept of social justice is. I'm sure most conservatives have heard it, and now by the time that someone says it, they just cringe on the inside, cringe on the outside, want to like crumble up a
It's
piece
like
of paper.
fingernails on a chalkboard. Social justice. Ah! Yeah.
Because it's a word that means everything and nothing at the same time. And it's a feel-good word that's come to mean anything that's liberal.
Rhino?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
So the article was about how to be a better social justice warrior by banning certain words out of your vocabulary. It's words that you should not say because they offend people. Now, here's the thing about social justice is that a large part of it is about making sure you do everything in your life so that you never offend anyone, ever. And so you need to change the things that you say, the things that you think, the way that you act. And, you know, God help you if you're a straight white man, because just innately you are offensive. So let's just start off with reading some of these words that if you say them, you are hurting people's feelings and you need to stop. Number 1 is the word lame. You cannot say lame because that might offend somebody who has a disability. You can't say...
You don't want to be ableist. We discussed this last week. You don't want to be ableist there, Chris. Bad stuff.
I know. You don't want to say retarded because retarded could refer to the mentally retarded, and therefore you're insulting everybody who's mentally handicapped. You don't want to say the word colored. Don't tell this to the NAACP. But you don't want to say the word colored because that's an offensive term. Okay? They say you should be using people of color, which is now the correct term because the term changes so much. You should not use the phrase I'm OCD because you're actually making fun of people who actually have OCD. Now, this one I know drove Fishy up a wall. You can't use the word derp.
This is an offense. This cannot stand.
Yeah, I derp way too often to not use the word derp.
I can tell you that the brony community will not be happy about this. They will not be happy at all.
I also read that you're not supposed to say derp when responding to a Paul Krugman article, and I'm thinking, how else do you respond to a Paul Krugman article?
Yeah, derp is pretty much the correct response there.
Right.
Oh, and full disclosure, I am not a brony. I just know that they use that word a lot. So there you go.
Sure.
The next word you're not supposed to use is the word crazy, because you could be insulting someone who actually is crazy. You know, probably like the person who wrote this article. You shouldn't use the word tranny. You should not use the word illegal because when referring to somebody, because humans are not illegal. They are people who are undocumented immigrants. That's the correct word. You can't say they tried to gyp me out of that because that's an offensive way to refer to gypsies stealing. Okay? You shouldn't say someone or something is exotic because that's racially insensitive. You should not say things are ghetto because that's looking down on people who are economically disadvantaged. And you should not say things are fat, or people are fat, or that you're feeling fat. It specifically calls out Facebook for using the word I'm feeling fat on their feeling status because that hurts people who are overweight.
That actually, if I'm not mistaken, that I'm feeling fat has been removed actually and replaced with I'm feeling full or stuffed or something that got removed from their thing. Anyway,
are we allowed to use the phrase hypersensitive pansy, particularly when describing the people who write and agree with that kind of article?
The
and I was going
article's
to
not
use
over,
a different
but I just
word than pansy, but
You cannot use that when you're discussing Obama's foreign policy. He takes it very personally.
I was going to ask if fat, P-H-A-T, is also affected by the fat ban. Is that also removed, or is P-H-A-T okay?
You know, I think that any word that might offend someone's feelings at some point in time is not okay.
Okay, I will refrain from using the word fat. I probably shouldn't use the word fat anyway, because who uses P-H-A-T as a adjective anymore?
Actually, I think we should just stop using any words because anything you say might offend someone, and so we should communicate through grunts.
Cool.
Andy
Yes,
can
but I
do
believe
that.
grunts are offensive to people who are constipated.
I just think it's interesting that we're talking about the disrespect, I guess, for the different career paths that women choose, while we've known for years that, like, for example, Hillary Clinton has disrespected stay-at-home moms, even though that's a perfectly valid career path that so many women choose. I mean, the idea that a woman has to choose a specific career path that makes more money or driving them towards that, I just think that's wrong.